All right. So before we get started, I'm going to share the PDF with everybody in here. So feel free to follow along if you would like. This is where also I'll be putting the videos. So feel free to follow along here. So we're going to get started. I hope everyone is healthy and safe. As always, thank you for all the support. It truly means a lot to us. It's been a lot of fun hearing from you guys, seeing how you guys have been doing. And thank you for your support. And of course, happy May. It's May 1st. Throughout the meeting, I'll be kind of going back and forth between this tab and this one, just so I can get people in here, make sure everyone's in. Got to get Rosie in here. So every Friday, I've been asking some questions to kind of guide your thinking for the clinic. So today I want you to think about these questions. We've been doing these for about 3 weeks now. This is our 4th race analysis clinic. I want you to think about what are some common things that you are seeing. What are some things that you are seeing? It doesn't necessarily be all stroke related. It could be race strategy. It could be stroke count. It could be how they are behind the blocks. But what are some things that you are seeing? And at the same time, what are some differences that you've been seeing? Have you been noticing how people attack races differently? Maybe we watched a short course race versus a long course race. But what are some differences that you've been seeing? And finally, how will noticing these help you? Now, the key word there is noticing. I'm not asking you, hey, how is watching Ryan Murphy do great underwater kicks going to help you? But how is you noticing these things going to help you? Not what you're seeing, but how you're able to see it. How is that helping you? I hope that makes sense. I hope I explained that well enough. So today we're going to start off with the 2012 Olympics 100 butterfly. This was the world record at the time done by Dana Vollmer. So I will put the link to the video in the chat. Boom. All right, the video is in the chat. If you'd like to follow on my screen, you're more than welcome to. If you'd like it with the sound, you can watch it on your screen. But we're just going to, if you want to watch it on my screen, feel free. As soon as we get through all these pesky ads. Excellent. The race starts at about the 4-minute mark. Make sure everyone's in. Perfect. So we're looking at Dana Vollmer, who's in lane 4. This is 2012 Olympics. Maybe some of you guys even saw this on NBC Sports a couple weeks ago, and they were on TV. So we're looking at lane 4, right in the middle of the pool. Here we go. So we just started the race. So we're looking at middle of the pool. Right now, she's probably 5th or 6th. And as the race progresses, she's slowly going to inch her way up. Notice her breathing pattern. Notice how she's attacking. So she's out at about 26.3. Those top 3 swimmers are all under world record pace. And after her turn, she's in the lead. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Went in 3rd, came out in the lead, and look at that. Now she's about almost a full body length ahead of everybody. Half a body length ahead of the world record line. And new world record. First woman ever under 56 in the 100 fly. Great swim. Make sure everyone's in before we get about it. Excellent. Here we go. So, a couple things to talk about here. First off, we're going to talk about her stroke counts. So, if you counted, she did 21 cycles her first 50 and 23 her second 50. Now, that's really incredible that she was able to keep it that close. Normally, you kind of see a 3 to 4 cycle drop between this first and second 50. So, it was very impressive that she was able to keep it that close. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. So she went 55.98. Great swim, world record like we talked about. Her first 50 was 26.39. And her second 50 was 29.59. She was the only one in the field to bring it back under 30 seconds for that second 50. So her fade was about 3.2 seconds. So remember, the fade is the difference between the first half of the race and the second half of the race, the difference between the second 50 and the first 50. The average fade for a long course 100 butterfly is about 3.6 seconds. So she is a little bit under the fade. Before we get to talk about race strategy, make sure everyone's in. Fantastic. So look at her race strategy. So Olivia, when do you think she makes a move? And you think she starts it earlier than other examples that we've seen? Other examples that we've seen, they kind of started after the turn, those first 3 cycles after the turn. So when do you think she makes her move and you think it's a little bit different than what we have been seeing? So that question is for Olivia. When does she make her move and you think it's been a little bit earlier than what we've been seeing? She comes, she attacks that turn. If you're looking at my screen, she's about halfway back that second 50. Full body length ahead, looking great. So we're thinking about when does she make her move? And you think it might be a little bit earlier than the other ones that we've seen. That question is for Olivia. Right before the turn, and yes, it seems to absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. So what Dana Vollmer does a great job of, like we talked about, at the 15-meter mark, she's in like 7th or 8th. By the turn, she's 3rd. So she accelerates into that turn, picks it up into that turn, and her underwaters, that's a big part of her move as well, because then she pops out first. So she does a great job of attacking her turn and her underwaters into that first few strokes, those first few cycles. So absolutely, that does seem a little bit earlier. Most of the times we've seen people kind of attack those first 3 or 4 strokes after the turn as opposed to going into the turn. So Megan, this next question's for you. When does she hunt and kill? And how does her breathing pattern help her hunt and kill? So when does she hunt and kill? And how does her breathing pattern help her? That question is for Megan. When do you think she hunt and kills? And if you notice her breathing, you don't have to answer the breathing pattern. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you do see it, how do you think that breathing pattern helps her? When does she hunt and kill? And how does her breathing pattern help her? She hunt and kills around the 25. Don't worry about the breathing pattern. We're going to talk about it in a little bit. Absolutely. She hunts and kills about the 25 with about 25 meters left. So if you notice, especially if you ever done the 100 butterfly long course, when you are getting towards the end of the race, your body starts to go up. Your body starts to get a little bit higher in the water as you're getting tired. When you do that, your hips start to sink and you're then going up and down, up and down. You're no longer driving forward. What she is able to do really well with her hunt and kill is be able to drive forward. She's able to stay low. She's able to keep her body going forward, not up and down. We'll talk about her breathing pattern in a little bit, but absolutely, that 25-meter mark, she makes sure she stays low and she is moving forward. So if you notice her finish right there, if you just watch my screen, both her finish and her turn, she was long into it. She kind of glided into it. So we've kind of been talking a lot about this with our underwaters and our stroke count. Simone, what would your advice be to Dana Vollmer about how to maybe not be as long into her turn and finish? There's no wrong answer. We're going to talk about it as a group. But what do you think she could do, Simone, to work on not being long into her turn? There's a couple of different answers, and there is no wrong one. So Simone, what do you think she could do to avoid being long into her turns? You know, she was long into her finish and she was long into her turn. Her audio is breaking up. She can't hear anything. All right. Well, then I'll just tell you guys. Thank you, Simone, for letting us know. So, what she could do to go into her turn and into her finish a little better, she could either A, maybe take one extra kick off her underwaters. So if she's doing 7, maybe she could do 8. If she's doing 8, maybe she could do 9. That would help her get a little bit closer to the wall so she doesn't have to glide in. Or you have to be able to know where you are at all times in a race. So if she sees that she's coming up and she's like, uh-oh, I either need to glide or I need to take a short stroke into this turn or in this finish, she needs to adjust a little bit further out. That means either shortening up a stroke or taking 2 long strokes. So she either needs to take 3 short ones or 2 long ones to help her finish on a full stroke. Great swim, and I'm sure afterwards she knew right away that she glided in both her turn and her finish. So, Alex Frick and Double L, I want you guys to both write down a catechism that you guys see her doing. The catechisms are right here if you need any help with that. But I want you guys to take a look at the catechisms, and Alex Frick and Double L, write down a catechism that you guys see. Double L and Alex Frick, a butterfly catechism that you guys see. They're right here on my screen if you need any help. Kick in. Oh, absolutely. Kick in, kick out. She's driving those hands back, and she's entering nice and strong. Double explosion. Oh, absolutely. Great ones. Both of you. Very nice job. You can definitely tell that she's double exploding because like we talked about with her breathing pattern, which is 1 up, 1 down, and that's able to help her hunt and kill, she's driving forward with that breath. When you're getting tired, that double explosion, that kick out's the first thing to go. And then you really are in trouble. You're going up and you're going down. By her doing that double explosion, she's driving that breath forward and she is not losing any momentum. Really nice job. Good job, Alex Frick. Good job, Double L. All right. So the last thing we're going to look at before we move on is kind of we talked about her start versus her turn. So if you notice, off her start, she is dead last. She's like 7th or 8th. But we know that off her underwaters, off her turn, she popped up first. So we know she has pretty good underwaters. We know she has pretty good underwaters because of that. So what does that mean? That means she probably had a bad start. Her start was probably not that good because, like we said, she started out 7th or 8th, but she turned 3rd and she broke out first. She started off 7th or 8th, turned 3rd, broke out first. So that, like we talked about the starts clinic, a bad start doesn't mean a bad race. You can overcome that. So the coast, I want you to answer, if she started 7th or 8th and she turned 3rd, what does that tell you about her fast and controlled? What does that tell you about her fast and controlled? Does it tell you that, oh man, she went out way too fast? Does that say, oh man, she went out way too controlled? Or is it right in the middle? Does that mean she swam that first 50 really, really well? Don't say, oops, Grace. Absolutely, she does a great job of stretch and snap. So that is for the coast. What do you think, Coast? Do you think she swam it just right? Do you think she swam it too fast? Swam it too controlled? What do you think? She dove in 7th or 8th. She turned 3rd, and she was first after her turn. Absolutely, she was really well. She did it really well. I think out of everybody in that field, her fast control was probably the fastest. She probably just had a really bad dive. So you think of that, she probably could have even gone even faster. She probably gone like 55, like 6, 55, 7 with the better to start. Because like you said, if she dove in 7th or 8th, she turned 3rd, broke out first. That means her fast controlled was a perfect blend of both being fast and controlled. And like we mentioned with her splits, she was the only one under 30. Great swim. Great swim. Very nice answers for everybody. All right. We are now on to breaststroke, everybody's favorite. So we're going to watch another world record swim from 2012. This is the 200 breast. This is Rebecca Soni. Feel free to follow along there if you'd like some audio. So Rebecca Soni, she's going to be in the pink suit in the middle of the pool. The race starts at about the 3:15 mark if you'd like to follow along on the chat. If not, you're more than welcome to watch my screen. Here we go. Pink suit right in the middle. Right now, she's probably third or fourth-ish. Remember, this is a 200 breast, so you got to think about being nice and long, nice and strong. Not a lot of turns in a 200 breast long course. Great underwater shot if you're watching my screen. Now, at the time, no one in the 200 breast for women had been under 220. So that's everyone's goal here, is to be under 220. So if you notice, she turned second at the 50. But she won the silver medal at these Olympics in the 100 breast. And the woman who won the 100 breast is not in this field. So she has the fastest 100 breast out of anybody in this field. She's being nice and long, nice and strong. And by the 100, she's in a pretty solid command, pretty solid lead. She's a little bit over world record pace. She's out 108.1. And that she's about almost a full body length ahead of everybody now. Pink suit right in the middle. Staying nice and low. She's moving forward. Doing a nice job of snapping that kick. Straight back. She's not driving her knees out. So she's still a little bit behind the world record line. A little bit long into that turn. Still about a tenth behind world record pace. But now here she goes. Here she goes. That last 50, she knows she's in the lead. She knows she's winning it. And now she's really picking up that tempo. She's tired. Her house is on fire. She's putting it out with her tempo. And we're going to see this in her stroke count a little bit. World record, first woman ever under 220. If you see the world record was 220.00. And the interview afterwards, she says she's been chasing that for a long time. So it was a great swim. Really, really good swim. All right, so let's talk about it now. Sure, everyone's in. Fantastic. So if you look at her stroke counts, her first 50, she was 20 strokes, 20 cycles. Her second 50 was 21. Her third 50 was 22, which is incredible that her first 150, they were all within 1 or 2 cycles of each other. That's very, very impressive. And that's pretty different than what we have been seeing. Her last 50 was 26 strokes. Her last 50 was 26 strokes. So she went 20, 21, 22, 26. And if you're following along in the video, that's kind of what you saw. You saw that first 150, she was pretty consistent. She was nice and long. Then as she started to get tired, that last about 25 or so, she really picked up the number of strokes she was taking. So if you look at her splits, she was 2:19.59 for the world record. She was 32.4. Then she was 35.6, 35.8, 35.6. I bet she's done a lot of 50s, long course, practicing going 35.6, because that is outstanding, especially in a 200 breast. So you look at her 100, she was 108.1, 111.49. That is a very, very, very impressive last 100. So her fade was about 3.39 seconds, which is way under the average fade of 4.7 seconds. Way under the average fade. It's about 1.3 seconds. So, Gabby Blake, my question to you is, what's her fast and controlled like? I want you to think about, what are those 2 words that we talk about all the time that start with EFF? They both start with that. What's her fast and controlled like? Think about those 2 words that start with EFF. Her fast and controlled. What are they like? And then Ari, I want you to talk about her make a move. What did she do to make a move on her race? So Gabby Blake is talking about, yes! Oh, so good, Gabby Blake. You got efficient, which is perfect. Yes, she was nice and long. She got everything out of each stroke. She wasn't spinning her wheels. Explosive, I like that word. That's a great word. Efficient and effective. Efficient and effective. So she was able to get as much as she could out of each stroke, but she wasn't super long with it. She wasn't going 18, super long and relaxed. So she was efficient and effective. So you got one, which is great. Efficient and effective. I do like explosive. And yes, all right, she made a move. She picked up her tempo. We saw that she went from 20 to 21 to 22. So she's picking up her number of strokes, which also means she's picking up her tempo. If you heard the analogy at the end of the race I was talking about, the analogy I always like to use is your house is on fire. You are tired. You are exhausted. You just swam 150 or 100 meters of breaststroke. How are you going to put out that fire? What's your water supply going to be? Your tempo. You got to pick it up. If she swam that last 50 or that last 100 like she swam the first one, she would be in trouble. She would be in trouble. So Simone, I hope your audio is working now. Because now my question to you is, how did she hunt and kill? And I kind of gave the answer away when we talked about stroke counts. So Simone, if you can hear us, how do you think she hunted and killed? If you need help, look at her stroke counts. She went 20, 21, 22, 26. And while she's thinking about that, I want Grace and Elena to write down 2 catechisms that they see. So Simone's going to be thinking about hunting and killing, and Elena and Grace are do 2 catechisms that they see. If they need help, the catechisms are right here. Her tempo picked up tremendously, and she attacked into the wall. Absolutely. Well done, Simone. Well done. Glad your audio is working as well. So like we saw that last 25, she really, really picked it up. How often in breaststroke do we see people, their forearms get really tired, their shins, their back, their legs, their calves get exhausted, and they're just gliding, they're just trying to finish the race. She made a decision to pick up her stroke tempo and really attack that wall. And she finished on a full stroke, whereas Dana Vollmer, like we just saw, finished on a long stroke. So Simone, absolutely, she picked up her tempo a lot. She picked up her stroke count, and she attacked into that wall. Elena says she snapped her legs. Absolutely. So let's see if I can find that good shot underwater. Let's see. So if you're watching my screen right now, she does a great job of snapping those legs together. She's not letting them kind of just float back together. She's driving her legs together. She is snapping them like we talked about. Straight back. So now let's see. Grace. Let's see. Grace, what's a catechism that you see? The catechisms are right here if you need any help. She has a really unique but very good breaststroke, so you'll definitely be able to see something. Coach Jenny, can you help out Miss Grace, please? So she's attacking. Ooh, it's her last 25 right here. This is great. Snap the kick. Oh, we said that one, Grace. So I'll help you out on this one. I'll help you out on this one, Grace. She does a great job. You're watching my screen right here. We're watching the above shot. She does a great job of lunging into a dry back. Great job of lunging into a dry back. Her back is nice and high in the water, and she is shooting the water off of her back that entire race. Really nice job Like I said, she's got a really unique breaststroke, but it works. It works. So now we're going to talk about her. We're going to dig a little deeper into it, talk about her first 100. So, like we mentioned, she got the silver medal in the Olympics. She got 105.5 to get silver in the 100 breasts earlier in the meet. So there's about a 2.5-second difference between her first 100 of her 200 and her 100 total, which is perfect. If you remember our Takeout Tuesday, we like to talk about that first 100 of the 200 being about 2 to 2.5-second difference. So if you notice now, she did the perfect race. She was out as fast as she needed to be, but she was under control. She was able to make a move, and she did a great job of hunting and killing, which was fantastic. Fantastic. So here's a little extra credit. We'll see if anyone can figure this one out. All right, this question is for you, because I know you're a historian of swimming. So if you notice on her pull downs, she was doing her arms and her legs, her dolphin kick at the same time. So she would throw her arms down and she would kick her dolphin kick at the same time. That used to be a rule. The rule used to be you could not do the dolphin kick before. Now the rule is you can do the dolphin kick before, which is what basically everyone does right now. Everyone does the dolphin kick into the pull down. So Ari, my question to you, if you don't know, feel free to say, I don't know, is which one do you think is faster and why? Why do you think they switched it back to the dolphin kick into the pull down as opposed to have to do them at the same time? Why? Which one do you think is faster? Take a shot at why. You don't have to say, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you, I'm interested to see if anyone knows. So why do you think they made the rule that you could go back to doing the dolphin kick before you pull down with your arms? Which one do you think is faster? Boom! Absolutely. Because you get more power if it's separate. Absolutely. It's 100%. So if you think about it, when you do your dolphin kick, you can stay in a streamlined position. You can stay nice and tight, and you can ride that dolphin kick. And then you start your pull down. That's two separate propulsive phases. That's two propulsive movements. Before, when you do at the same time, that was just one. Your dolphin kick and your pull down at the same time. That's one. So instead of going 1 + 1 = 2, you're going 1 + 0 = 1. And last time I checked, 2 is greater than 1. Last I checked. I'm not a math major, but last I checked, 2 is greater than 1. So yes, absolutely, Ari. Now that they're separate, you can get more power out of each one. And that's the reason why breaststroke is gotten so much faster, is because people are really able to work on those pull downs. So excellent job. So now we're going to do a little bit of comparison. We're going to look at two 100 backstrokes, both done by Ryan Murphy. So this is at the Olympic trials. The first one we're going to watch is the 100 back from the Olympic trials. And the second one we're going to watch is at the Olympics about a month later. So the race for the 100, the race starts at about the 220 mark. Excuse me. If you'd like to follow along on my screen, you're more than welcome to. If you'd like to follow along on your own, there's videos in the chat. He's in lane 5. He's the yellow cap. This is a tremendous race to watch right here. This is really good. This is probably one of the best fields ever. You have Matt Griever's a former Olympian, Tyler Clary, former Olympian, David Plummer, who's never made the team, Ryan Murphy, who's the American record holder in the 100 and 200 yard backstrokes. One of the best 100 back fields ever. And they're just going. They're moving. So it looks like Ryan Murphy has a little lead, but turns second. Not by much, but still turns second. Look at that. Boom. Breaks out first. And the red lines, the world record lines, they are right at it. They're right at that world record line. Got a little away from them, but look at that. Ryan Murphy makes it. David Plummer never made the Olympics, makes it. 52.26, great swim. Now keep that bit in your mind. Keep that in your mind as we watch now his world record 100 back. So I'll put it in the chat. So he did this leading off the relay. So he led off the relay in a world record. You can do that if you lead off a relay. You can set a team, state, American, world, national. You can do any. You can set any record as long as you're leading off. So now he's in black cap right in the middle, and he is gonna be going for it. Look at that, right there in the middle, black cap. He's already about half a body length ahead of the field. Remember, this was about a month later. This was not that far apart from these two races. Ryan Murphy turns 25-1. Once again, great underwaters. Breaks out at about the 15-meter mark. Look at that. Body length ahead, going out ahead of everybody. Staying nice and high in the water. Look at that shrug and roll of the shoulders like we talk about. Goes into Cody Miller. Boom. World record, 51.85. Awesome swim. So now let's take a look at these swims now. Let's compare them. Let's compare them. So at 2016 Olympic trials, once again, very close stroke counts, 16 and 17. Now we'll probably see that in backstroke because of the start. That also tells us something about his underwaters too, which we'll get into in a little bit. So he was 16 cycles and 17 cycles at 2016 trials. He went 52.26 to win. He was 25.23, 27.03. So he was exactly 1.8 seconds with his fade. So the average fade for 100 back is about 1.6. So he is right at that average, right at it. Maybe a little bit over. So at the Olympics now, leading off the relay, he was 15 and a half cycles and 17 on the way back. So half a cycle less, so one stroke less, 17, same number. This time he went 51.85, 25.13, 26.72, 1.59 fade. Boom. He was right on it. Right on it. Just like we like to see. Something tells me he did a lot of practicing going 26.7. Awesome, John. So let's dissect this. So at the Olympics, he took one less stroke his first 50, but he took it out 0.1 faster. On his second 50, he took the same number of strokes, but brought it back 0.3 of a second faster. So, Megan, what does that tell you about his underwaters? What do you see with his underwaters? What does that say about his underwaters? If he took about the same number of strokes each 50, what does that tell you about his underwaters there, Megan? Think about where he broke out. Think about how he broke out. What does that tell you about his underwaters? Give you a hint so I can pause it right where I need to pause it. Boom, right there. There's the money shot. What do you think this says about his underwaters there, Miss Megan? Pause. Let's see if I can pause it on the start as well. Boom. He exploded the surface. Absolutely, he exploded the surface. He absolutely did. Like we talk about, swim through the surface. Don't just swim to the surface, swim through the surface. Absolutely, Megan. Well done. If you also look at my screen, I paused it at two different moments of the race. So if you look at my screen right here, this is at the beginning of the race. So there he is, yellow cap there, right in the middle. Look where he's breaking out, right before the 15-meter mark. Right there. And this is off his turn at the Olympics. Remember, this is about a month later. Look at that. Same spot. Same spot. So he exploded through the surface, probably did the same number of kicks, and he got to the same spot. He went faster and farther than everybody else with those underwaters, and he exploded through the surface. So really nice job with his underwaters. He stayed consistent with those and was still able to knock off half a stroke. If you think, I think why he knocked off half a stroke, it's kind of hard to tell at the Olympics just because you don't really see him turn into the wall. But if you look at the Olympic trials, he starts his freestyle stroke almost at the tee. So he needed to really use that freestyle stroke to pull him in. So he lost a little bit of his momentum going into the turn at the Olympic trials. So going into the Olympics, he probably was able to turn a little bit closer to the wall, and that was probably able to help him with a better turn, better second 50. So absolutely, man, he exploded to the surface. Like we talked about, he was able to drop a 10th off of his first 50 with one less stroke, half a cycle less. So remember, in order to go fast, you must go fast. If you want to go under 52 seconds in the 100 back long course, you cannot go out in 25.5. Just can't do it. You have to be out fast in order to go fast. You want to go fast, you got to go fast. There's no way around it. It's one of the most important things. Like we talked about, speed is the limiting factor. And finally, Alex Frick, how do you think this is an example of team first? Do you think he went into the race thinking, I have to break this world record? How do you think this is an example of team first? Mr. Alex Frick, that question is for you. And I wish we had the NBC version of this and not the British version, because at the end of the race, they showed Nathan Adrian jumping up and down, pumping his fists in the air after he saw that Ryan Murphy broke the world record. If you watch it on TV, they showed it. It's great. But how do you think this is an example of team first? Want to get a good start for the team? Absolutely. Absolutely. He wanted to put his team in a great spot. I know we shouldn't think like this all the time, but he knows that Britain, who ended up getting second, Britain has Adam Peaty doing breaststroke, and their weakness is backstroke. So he's thinking, I got to get Cody Miller a huge lead because Adam Peaty is going to be coming for him. He's thinking, I want to get Michael Phelps a great lead because this is his last race ever. He's thinking about what his job is to help the team. He didn't go in this race thinking, I have to break the world record. He was thinking, I have to do what's best for the team. I need to get us out to a big lead. I need to do my job. He's not trying to win the relay by himself, but he's making sure he does his job. So absolutely, Alex. Absolutely. Well done. Good answer. So we talked about butterfly, breaststroke, and backstroke. Now this is a little segment that's going to kind of transition us into tomorrow a little bit. So this is called Don't Call It a Comeback. So sometimes in life you get knocked down. The unexpected happens and it's completely out of your control. See what's kind of happened these last couple months. We kind of got knocked down. This is completely out of our control. And it's unexpected. We didn't really know, but we're kind of knocked back. We got kind of knocked back a little bit. So my question to you guys is, what do you do? Do you stay down? You're like, oh man, this stinks, this, that, and the other thing. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, when are we going to get back? Or do you keep getting back up? If life knocks you down, do you keep getting back up? And the answer for a lot of you is, yeah, you're getting up because you guys are here right now. You guys are taking the time out of your day to come here, do the dry lands, come to the clinics. You guys are getting up right now, which is very impressive. So let's take a look at an example of this in the swimming world real quick. So this is Caleb Dressel at 2018 Nationals. Would you like to follow along here? You may. So this is at Nationals. Remember, Caleb Dressel went 17 seconds in the 50 free short course. He's the fastest male sprinter of all time. So let's take a look here. So you're watching on my screen. We're race about to start. Starts about the 2:30 mark. So he's right there in the middle. He's right in the middle of the pool. You'll be able to tell him right away because he breaks out first. Bam, right in the middle of the pool. He's swimming. Uh-oh. This doesn't look normal. He's losing. He's getting beat. He's getting passed. He's getting crushed now. This is a 50-meter free. This is his event. And Michael Andrew smokes him. Smokes him. Now notice the time. Michael Andrew won in 21:49. 21:49. That means Caleb Dressel probably went like 21:6. That is not a good swim for Caleb Dressel at all. So now that's 2018 Nationals. He was beat by Michael Andrew. Got crushed. Probably went a time that he probably went 2 or 3 years ago. So now let's take a look at him. This is 1 year later. You can follow along in the chat. This is 1 year later. Race starts at about the 2:40 mark. 1 year later, Caleb Dressel's at the 2019 World Champs. And look what he does. Remember, 1 year ago, he got beat by Michael Andrew, probably going like 21:6. And look at him now. He's in the same position as what he was in. He's ahead of everybody. But this time, no one's going to pass him. No one's even close. Look at him. He's arm's length ahead of everybody. He's almost about to break the world record. So in 1 year, he went from not even close to winning. He got smoked by Michael Andrew. And 1 year later, he set the American record in the 50 free, the exact same event. Exact same event. So I don't remember if you guys ever heard about this, but in the summer of 2018, when that Nationals happened, he was in a car accident and he was almost out of the pool for 4 weeks. He was riding his scooter along, got hit. He was out of the water for 4 weeks. Couldn't really do much. By his standards, like we talked about, he did not have a good Nationals. He got beat. He won the 100 fly. He got beat in the 50 free and 100 free. Did not have a good Nationals. 1 year later, he broke the American record in the 50 and the 100 free and the world record in the 100 fly. So the unexpected happened. He got hit. He was in a car accident. Wasn't in his control. He got knocked down. But he knew he took that whole year to train and get better. And look what he did a year later. It's not about how hard, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving. It's how winning is done. If you'd like to watch the speech, I included it right here. It's from a great movie. So it's about how many hits that you can take. How many times can you get hit down? And how many times can you get back up? It's like we talked about. This is going to transition great into tomorrow with our leadership talks. So make sure you guys watch the videos and complete the little sheets that go with them. But that's what it's about. It's not about, oh, everything's going great. I'm Caleb Dressel. I'm the fastest person ever. I'm always going to go fast. No. Sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes you don't always get faster. But it's about what you do. It's about your reaction to it. That's going to help you get better. That's what it's about. It's not about everything being all roses and sunshine and rainbows. It's about getting hit and moving forward, getting back up. So with that being said, I'm really excited for tomorrow. I hope you guys are too. Make sure you fill out those sheets, watch the videos. Thank you all for being here today. We'll see most of you hopefully tomorrow. If not, have a great weekend and enjoy the weather outside. It's great. We'll see you guys then. Thank you for all being here today.